Welcome to the Riedell Report, brought to you by College Baseball Central, bringing you 90 feet closer to the greatest show on dirt. Now, here's your host.
What is up, College Baseball Central fans? My name is Andrew Riedell. Welcome back to the Riedell Report on this beautiful March 5th. I'm sorry again, as you can see, it is light out. It is not dark here in Florida. It is 10 a.m. where I am recording, or no, it's 11 a.m. actually. It's 11 a.m. I'm sorry again that I'm recording this and that I'm not live. So sorry if there's not enough fan interaction again. I'll be back again Friday live in person. I will prove that I am live in person. I'll get a newspaper or something to hold up to prove that I am alive, not being held against my will. But it is not the end of the world as some LSU fans think it is. It is a beautiful Thursday, March 5th here. We're entering week 4 of college baseball. We got some very good matchups. We got some conference play starting up. We got the ACC kick-starting their hearts a little with their conference play starting up. Big Ten is also starting up. We got Oregon, Purdue, Ohio State, UCLA, Michigan State, and Nebraska. We got a lot of fun things. We got 4 really fun series we're going to talk about today. We got a really fun series actually out west. I don't think we're going to have enough time to talk about it, but San Diego and California. We got a lot to talk about. But as I mentioned, welcome in. My name is Andrew Riedell. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 8, I believe, of the Riedell Report. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me today on this lovely Thursday as we walk into college baseball week 4. A little travel where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at Miami and Boston College tomorrow. I'm lucky enough that I'm coaching a game in Miami tomorrow. If anyone cares, it's against Chaminade Madonna. And we should be done by 5:36. So it's probably a 45 minute drive from Hollywood to Coral Gables. Hopefully I get there for first pitch. It's whatever if I don't. I just want to be there and watch some good baseball. Saturday's kind of up in the air right now. I am waiting to hear back. I'm dead serious about this. I'm waiting to hear back from an SID or 2 to see where I will be going on Saturday. I'm hoping to catch UCF and Murray State on Saturday. If not, I will probably be back at Miami and Boston College. And then Sunday, again, up in the air, I might be going to FIU and Boca. That game is usually first pitch at noon. So I enjoy that first pitch at noon. It should be a very fun series over there too. So, as I did mention it, welcome back to the welcome back to the Riedell Report. And the world has not ended, as some LSU fans think it is, as LSU is on a 2-game losing streak. Is it a losing streak? What is that saying in Major League? If you win one more, we've won 2 in a row. If you win one more, that is called a streak. So I guess they're on a 2-game skid, if anything. They're on a 2-game skid, but I am not worried about the LSU Tigers. I wanted to talk a little about just have a little ramble here with me, folks. LSU's going to be fine. I promise you. If no one's being worried about UCLA dropping 2 midweeks, no one's. I get it. They've beaten Mississippi State. They've struggled in midweeks. The opponents, UCLA's opponents, have been in every game. Obviously, they've dropped 2 midweeks against a very good San Diego State team. Cal State Fullerton took them to the max. So at some point, you got to think, oh, yeah, UCLA is screwed, right? No, they're not. They're not. You know what? LSU, they had this last year with University of Nebraska Omaha, where they dropped that Saturday, game 1, with Anthony Einstein on the mound, which I was there for. Jay Johnson will find his guys and will start trimming the fat. You know who we're going to start seeing more of? Devin Sheeran, the Mount St. Mary's transfer that's coming off a torn ACL. He could have thrown last year. Jay said, no, we don't need you. No, we need you, but we don't need you now. Come back next year. Go dominate in the Cape. William Schmidt, Sundays, he's been phenomenal. Maverick Rizzi, yeah, he's got 12 strikeouts to 7 walks. Has that been updated actually? Yeah, it has been updated. Maverick Rizzi. Oh no, actually 7 walks. Yep, 7 walks, 12 strikeouts. I had that right. Cooper Moore's been phenomenal. Gavin Guidry, he had a rough outing last night. He's gonna be fine. Ethan Plog, like I'm obviously just going down the ERA list, but I'm telling you, Cooper Williams will be fine, and Zach Cowan will be fine. Zach Cowan's got to be able to find his changeup and learn how to pitch around it. Find the changeup, pitch around it. Some guys like Marcos Paz, who has that roof is the ceiling, or that the sky's the limit with him, he'll get it going. I'm not worried about a lot of these arms, but you're going to see Jay Johnston and Nate Yeskie get into this groove a little, where you just start seeing guys not throw as much. If they don't trust them, they're just going to... In the SEC, you can't play like that. In the SEC, you cannot play like that. So, offensively, what do they do? Nothing. Jake Brown and Derek Curiel have been phenomenal. Trent Caraway, too. Some guys got to just step it up. Starts with the Bayou Bambino, whatever you want to freaking call him. I'm not going to call him the Bayou Bambino, because Babe Ruth is not hitting 256 and with only 4 bombs and not selling out on every inside pitch. Zach York needs to... You're hitting third for a reason. You're hitting third in the SEC. You're not facing West Coast pitching anymore. You're not going to get away with... you're going to see in SEC play, you're going to only see maybe a handful of fastballs on one hand. You're only going to see 4 or 5 fastballs in a weekend. No, I'm being over-exaggerated. You're going to maybe see 8 fastballs on a weekend, maybe. And even then, those fastballs are coming in 95 plus, because the SEC has the greatest pitching in the freaking country. They're doing this without Chris Stanfield. I got to mention, Chris Stanfield's injured. Should be back any day now, from what I've been told. They're just kind of easing it in with him. I think some guys are going to get more opportunities, such as John Pearson. Last year, when I was covering LSU, it felt like his at-bats were just going in the next direction every time. But it felt like he was going the right direction. I thought he was going to get the DH spot right away, but Mason Braun beat him out for that. Eddie Yammons looked very good this year. Obviously, redshirted coming in from Dayton. But the lineup, he's going to stick with the same 9 guys, and it's not going to be insanity unless they lose a handful in a row. The good thing is they get Sacramento State coming in this week, and then they get Creighton for a midweek, and then they go off to Nashville next week. They go to Nashville, they go to play Vanderbilt, and Jay Johnson said last night, let me read the quote. I'm not going to read the offensive one. I'm going to read this one. Shout out Jackie Doucette, one of the best LSU reporters out there. I don't think I set this team up for success with the schedule how I laid it out. What are you laying out here, Jay? Let's be honest. Let's look at your schedule. You start off with 3 against Milwaukee, which, okay, opening weekend, you're not going to come in and schedule UCLA week 1. Just saying. Kent State for Monday night. Kent State gave you a little battle test, but I think Kent State's a good team. I think they're a top 40 team in the country. Nichols, you run-roll them, and then you go to Jacksonville, and you have a contract with Peak that you got to go play that. You're originally supposed to go to Frisco and play with, I think it was Oregon State. I forgot who's in Frisco that week, or Round Rock. No, they were in Round Rock last year. They were supposed to go to Frisco, I think. They were supposed to go to Frisco, and that gets switched last second to Jacksonville. But you play an okay Indiana team. You play a very good Notre Dame team, in my opinion. And then you play a middle-of-the-pack Big 12 UCF team. Okay. Then you face a little adversity. You face the top half of the Southland and McNeese. Then you have that Northeast round robin where you bring in Northeastern and Dartmouth. Northeastern's a team that had the longest winning streak in the country last year. They're going to be in the top of the CAA. At the end of the year, this loss is going to be considered a good loss, RPI-wise, because Northeastern will probably be, 35. And let's look at Warren Nolan, actually. Warren Nolan has conference. Warren Nolan has Northeastern finishing. They're 3-6 right now. Predicted. They had them losing 7 more games, 39-13. They're projected to go 26-4 in non-conference or in conference play. So I think at the end of the day, this win or that loss will be considered a good loss. And I think it is a good loss for LSU from a learning standpoint. I mean, I know Jay 100% told them, hey, don't look at their record. This team is a scrappy team. Coach Glavin's a scrappy coach. You do the little things right, you're going to take care of them. They didn't do the little things right. In that game alone, they made – and I think we need to be talking about this a little bit more. The fielding. LSU made 4 errors on Monday, and they turn around and make 3 last night. We're making 3 errors, guys. We're making 7 errors in midweeks. That's how you let teams beat you in midweeks. No one's talking about that. You're handing, and someone said this to me when I was at the Miami and UF series. When you hand someone a game, they still got to take it. You've handed them those games, and they took it. They handed them those games, and they took it. So that's why I'm not overly concerned, but I think I'm more I'm not annoyed because I'm not a fan. I'm just disappointed because this LSU team, all their fans are crying, being like, oh, we're screwed. Our pitching's not as good. Pitching's going to be fine. Offense is going to be fine. In these midweeks, if you go in the SEC and you win 13 games, you're considered in the NCAA tournament. Just go handle business in the SEC. You got freaking Sacramento State this week. They're not an easy opponent, in my opinion. They're going to be good. Don't take them lightly. That's a good quad 2, quad 3. No, it's quad 3 probably. But it's a good quad 3 win. Got to take advantage of those. But we have 4 series to talk about this week. I just wanted to hit that. I promise LSU fans I'll talk about that a little. But let's jump into this weekend as we are heading over to Dallas Baptist. I'm using Mr. Pear rating. Shout out Pear for our series breakdown this week. We are going over to UL and Dallas Baptist as UL is obviously coming off a very, very good very good week as they take down UC San Diego in a weekend series. They were 10-3, 9-3 at home, but they will be traveling on the road this weekend to Dallas, Texas. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. Hopefully no double headers there. Dallas Baptist enters 8-5. Their big statement was getting swept by UTSA. They did bounce back last week, taking 3 out of 4 against Air Force and Oral Roberts, but then they lose a midweek to Oklahoma, where Oklahoma shut them out 2-0. Michael Catalano for Oklahoma dominated, but so did this Dallas Baptist pitching staff. The pitching staff for Dallas Baptist is never the problem. But this year it has been. UTSA, they give up 28 runs in a 3-game span. What we see here, Dallas Baptist, their ERA is obviously very bad right here in that yellow area. UL's coming in with a 3.89 ERA. I mean, you look at this pitching staff, which obviously we talked about Andrew Herman the other day, going 9 innings, 1 hit, 13 punchies. But I'm going to talk about it right here. Sawyer Pruitt's their leading ERA guy, freshman, in 19 2/3 inning, 2-0. 25 strikeouts as a freshman. I got to double check that. He is a freshman, correct? He is a freshman. Well, you got a freshman dominating right now. That's a sign of what everything's going right for Coach Deegs and UL. Andrew Herman, I'm expecting the rotation to stay the same. I don't think Herman's going to get moved up. It's going to go J.R. Toll. No, it's going to go Ty Roman, Andrew Herman, then J.R. Tollett on Sunday, most likely. Yes. So, and then for Dallas Baptist, I expect it to go Scheffler. If I'm thinking right, it's going to go. No, I want it the other way. It's going to go Jared Scheffler, Russ Smith, and then Ryan Borberg. This pitching staff struggled. They got 6.19 ERA this year. The offense hasn't been really any better. They're hitting 301 as a team. Some guys to know there: Ben Tryon, Jake Bennett, the catcher, who's been a stud. This is one of the best catchers in the country, one of the hardest hitting catchers in the country. He's hitting 320 with 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. I think it's going to be a very good series. I think it's the best mid-major series of the week. At least if I missed one. Well, no, I think the next two actually go toe-to-toe with this. But the key headline in this series, before I rattle off, I'm going to rattle off some UL hitters first. Colt Brown hitting 347, 6 RBIs in his 13 games, 7 doubles already for the Star. Rigoberto Hernandez, the NAI transfer, we've talked about him a little. 2 home runs, 317. But Donovan LaSalle's come back from an injury. He's hit 1 home run. He's hitting 250. I think he's just going to get hotter and hotter into the year. DBU, some key hitters I already mentioned. Jake Bennett, Ben Tryon hitting 367. 367 with 3 home runs. Shayton Cross hitting 4 home runs, 15 RBI. Excuse me. I think pitching is going to be the key to this series. As you see, no, you don't have the numbers there. UL is ranked number 12 in net ratings, according to Mr. Pear. I think the key for this series is keeping UL's pitching, keep it rolling. I think DBU is going to be able to take a game in this series, but if UL keeps the pitching going, obviously Sawyer Pruitt throws 4 innings. He's probably not going to be available tomorrow, but he'll probably be available Saturday, Sunday. If you are able to take that Friday game against DBU, against a good Jared Scheffler, and Saturday and Sunday hasn't been consistent for DBU, I think UL is going to be able to take 2 out of 3 here. I think it's going to be very hard to sweep this. I think UL is going to take care of business, though. Taking 2 out of 3, I think DBU is they're kind of hobbling right now. I mean, that 8-5 record, it kind of shows. It shows that they're just kind of hobbling, getting ready for CUSA play, where they start next week, going out to New Mexico or hosting New Mexico State. But then, they get a very easy start. They get New Mexico State and Delaware to start CUSA play before welcoming in Missouri State and then going to Kennesaw State. They do go to FIU. They host La Tech, but then they go to Western Kentucky. If Dallas Baptist doesn't figure out the pitching, it's going to be a very long CUSA year, especially with the rate that Western Kentucky is playing at as well. And FIU is a sleeper. I should honestly be talking more about the FIU pitching staff. They've been phenomenal to start the year against some very inferior opponents. UL, though, 10-3, their track record has spoken for themselves. I don't care if last night was their World Series or not. They've taken down some very good opponents. They dropped 2 out of 3 to Missouri State, but then they bounced back, win against Rice, sweeping sweeping Maryland, sweeping Kansas State, and then taking 2 out of 3 from UC San Diego. I think Coach Deeks got this UL program trending in the right direction. And could we possibly be talking about a Lafayette regional? That'd be really fun. Next up, we are going to we're going to actually stay in the Lone Star State, as I am repping the Tulane Green Wave tonight. As we are talking Tulane and TCU, I wish some of my TCU friends, TCU reporter friends, were hoping that I'd be on boots on the ground for this series. Unfortunately, I will not be, as the Tulane Green Wave come off a very disappointing midweek loss to Nichols. But if you ask Nichols, it is a phenomenal week for them. As we'll talk about Nichols actually at the end of the show. I'm going to write that down for right now. The Tulane Green Wave. Tulane comes in after taking 2 out of 3 from Eastern Kentucky. They won the Walt Jones Bowl, as Coach Walt Jones was the former head coach of Eastern Kentucky before taking the job, taking an assistant coach job at Tulane. A very, very interesting week last week for Tulane. It feels like they can't get over that UNO hump in the Pelican Cup. They've lost their last 3 to UNO. They go to South Alabama, run rule them, and show them who really runs Mardi Gras. And then they come in 2 out of 3 from at home against Eastern Kentucky. It's not their first real test because they've already played UCLA. But I think this weekend for Tulane will either have Tulane fans really excited about this season, or it's another year. Get the memes ready, get ready for all this stuff. I think it's going to be a weekend that shocks a lot of people. I think Tulane's going to come in here and take 2 out of 3. That's my hot take of the week. I think Tulane's pitching is trending in the right direction. Trace Ahajic got American Pitcher of the Week last week. He went 7 innings, 1 hit, striking out 11. 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, no runs. So Hajic, obviously being around that Tulane program last year a lot, got to see him take some very big strides. I assume, I haven't talked to anyone on either side of this, but I assume it's going to be Trace Ahajic, Bo Sampson, and Jack Frankel on Sunday. And I think this is going to be a very, very good test for the Tulane pitching staff. If you bring in I'm looking at their stats right now. You bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You bring in 10 new pitchers into 10 pitchers at least on the stat board right here. You bring in these guys to at least test them, or to revamp your pitching staff and revamp your bullpen. This is the test you want. You go into Lupton, and this is a true test as you're facing one of the best teams in the country. I think TCU is struggling right now. Obviously, last week they got University of New Haven to kind of right the ship a little. As let me rattle off some TCU hitter stats. Sawyer Strauss-Snyder, obviously one of the best hitters in the country, probably going to be in Omaha for the Golden Spikes Award presentation. He's hitting 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 355 on the season. Chase Brunson, shout out to Mr. Reynolds, James Reynolds, for saying that is his guy. He was telling me and Jake McKeever in Omaha how excited he was for Chase Brunson. So shout out to Mr. Reynolds. He's hitting 316 with 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. He's really stepped up in this TCU lineup. But you see it a little here. It's like some guys are really struggling out of the gate here for TCU. Cole Kramer's only hitting 289. Rob Lettington, 286. Nolan Traeger's hitting 281. It's like they face some really good. They faced UCLA for that opening weekend, and they took 2 out of 3 in the Shriners Children College Showdown. But you got to be really. I'm not really worried, but you got to see if this offense will keep it going or get hot right here going into Big 12 play starting up soon. Pitching for the Horned Frogs is a big question, actually. I don't know who, unless they released it as of 11:30, it doesn't say who they're going to start. And I don't think Tulane's released their preview yet. They haven't. So I'm going into this blind with pitching, but I'm going to guess. I don't think Tommy Laporte is going to be back. I'm going to actually reach this source right now. But I don't think Tommy Laporte is going to be back right now. I think they're going to take I think they're going to take their time with him. You want him obviously ready for Big 12 play. And I think pitching, it's obviously struggled without Tommy Laporte, but you'll probably have Yuli Fernsler on Friday, Mason Brassfield on Saturday, and then Lance Davis on Sunday, I think, or Cade Nelson on Sunday. I don't know. And I think with the pitching staff struggling for TCU, I think that's when the Tulane bats can take advantage of it. Obviously, the Tulane offense has never been a problem. Never been a problem. Last year wasn't a problem. This year, they've come out swinging the bats very hot, led by, I'm going to talk about it, Nate Johnson. A lot of Tulane fans last year didn't see the potential of Nate Johnson. I was a Nate Johnson fan from the very beginning. I saw the potential. You can just tell that it was going to be piece by piece. Coach Ullman did a phenomenal job with Nate Johnson, in my opinion. He was giving him opportunities as a freshman just to get his legs wet, get your feet wet. So him seeing those opportunities, and then obviously he looks much bigger. I guess he's gained some muscle. His approach at the plate looks very, very mature. And you can give Coach Hodge, Brian Hodge, Coach Jones, Coach Ullman, give everyone in that Tulane staff credit for that. He's came out slugging 636 to start the year, or hitting 636. He's slugging 1.091 with a home run, 7 RBIs. He's got a triple as well. But, I mean, you look at this Tulane lineup, it's hard to get everyone an opportunity. Jason Wax is probably their best hitter, in my opinion. He's hitting 314. Kakia Harris, he's hitting 321. If you want to look up something, look up Kakia Harrison on YouTube. He when he was 8 years old, he sang a Bruno Mars cover of When I Was Your Man. Very hilarious. They're not hilarious, but it's very adorable for an 8-year-old. Jason Wax, he's got 1 home run, 19 RBIs. Matthias Haas, one of the top double hitters in the country last year. He's only got 4 this year, but he's hitting 311 with a home run and 13 RBIs. But again, this is a Tulane squad that brings in, or Tulane offensive, not offensive staff, but a Tulane offense that brought in a lot of new pieces. Ty Wood, Johnny Elliott, Jack Johnson, AJ Groneveld, Nolan Araki, Trent Leos, Bryson Alea is a freshman, Evan Berg, and then Brett Rowell and Julius Pitch runs. So, okay. Thank you. So yeah, I doubt that Tommy Laporte's back this week. So if this Tulane offense puts the slightest amount of pressure on TCU, I think TCU is going to be in a whirlwind of trouble. You see here the ERA for TCU. Let me find it on pairs here quickly. I saved these images and then I download them on our streaming service. That TCU ERA is not good. Their offensive stats have looked a little bit better, in my opinion, but I think that Tulane can easily take 2 out of 3 here if they put a little bit of pressure and they pitch to their strengths. Come on. Am I blind? Here we are. Obviously, a sweep is 33.6% probability. I think that Tulane will take at least 1, but I think they take this serious. I think they take 2 out of 3. I mean, I think the one prop here, like you look at their ERA. Look, the ERA for Tulane's been a little bit better. It's on the 3s. It's on the low 4s, but it's under 5. You want at least under a 5 in college, especially in the beginning of the college season when you're facing some high-powered offenses. They do have 1 quad win. Good for Tulane. But being able to take care of business early on in the season is huge. I just think Tulane's offense is going to come in here and really put the pressure on them. I think it's going to be a very offensive power weekend, and I need to see the TCU pitching staff. Take that next step forward without Tommy Laporte to prove to me that they can make a run here and potentially get to Omaha. Before we move on here, we have an ad from Home Field Ad. So here is that ad.
Before we get back to the action, we've got to tell you about the best gear in college sports. The place to go is Home Field Apparel. Check out the Diamond Classics collection, high-quality throwback jerseys for your favorite team. From the Arkansas Razorbacks to the Vanderbilt Commodores, Home Field has you covered. Home Field's the only apparel partner of College Baseball Central. Gear up for game day by visiting homefieldapparel.com.
Thank you, Matt, for that lovely ad read. Yes, go check out everything Home Field. I'm very, very excited to go over there and check out some Home Field gear. It feels like I'm always talking to my buddies about what Home Field gear I will be getting, actually. One thing I am very excited to order, as I'm pulling up the Home Field ad, or not that Home Field ad, the Home Field website, I am repping Tulane, and I'm pretty sure this might be Home Field. This might be Home Field, actually. But as everyone reeks in horror, as I nearly just... Why is this guy checking his shirt? I am looking forward to... I'm pulling it up on my other monitor here. I'm going to share it onto the screen here. I'm hoping that this is available in the near future. I love me some Tulane. This bomber jacket right here. Some very cool stuff all over. Let's go over to Louisiana. Louisiana just... Oh, wait, no. UL doesn't have one. But let's go over to LSU. If your fans are... If you're struggling about baseball season, don't struggle about baseball season. Struggle about how you're going to look showing up to the box. In the SEC, it means more. It feels like it's a fashion show wherever you go. It is a fashion show wherever you go. Looking at some of these very nice, very, very nice gear right here. Look at this coach's jacket right here. We'll go one more page before we return back to your scheduled program. But very, very cool. And they do have... I don't want the campus. Ooh, varsity jackets. That's awesome. The baseball and softball pullovers. Look at these right here. Look at the bad boys. I will definitely be getting one of these. The question is, which one? Is it going to be that Kansas one right there? Is it going to be this Notre Dame one right here? Rest in peace, Lou Holtz. Is it going to be this Indiana State pullover worn by Larry Bird? If you didn't know, Larry Bird did play in an Indiana State baseball game. It could be this. Look at this right here. Frog Ball and Tulane right next to each other. A little preview into this week of TCU and Tulane. Look at this beautiful baby blue. Could it be Tennessee? Could it be Hail State, Mississippi State? This LSU, beautiful UF, FSU. I wish they had this FSU one in that new baby yellow. Not baby yellow. That new golden yellow they're wearing. A little ASU, Arizona, Auburn. But let's move on into our program. Next up, we're going to be talking about our Out West series of St. Mary's and San Diego State. Kevin Vance has done a phenomenal job since taking over as San Diego State head coach. He's got the Aztecs 8-5. I know, Andrew, they're 8-5. What do you mean? They're rolling good. I think they've looked very good. They've got a big win over UCLA, and then they split the week at Washington, which it felt like they should have taken 3 out of 4, but things got out of hand on Sunday and Monday. St. Mary's and San Diego State. San Diego State coming in 8-5. St. Mary's coming in 8-4. They dropped 2 out of 3 to Creighton in one of our top series from week 1. And then they come in and take 3 out of 4 in the midweek. This past week, they take 3 out of 4 from San Jose State, and they win the midweek against UC Davis. This San Diego State team is the talk of a lot of circles right now because of Kevin Vance and what he has done already This again, a new look San Diego State team where they bring in a bunch of transfers. Jaden Trotsky's leading the way, hitting 377 in his 13 starts, 20 hits to start the year. Adam Magpock, he's got a home run and 11 RBIs. West Coast baseball is different than East Coast baseball. You're not going to see a lot of home runs being hit here and there. Tice Peterson. Tice Peterson, the Oregon State transfer, hitting 292 as well. But Kevin Vance is a pitching mind, and that's what's been the key so far. His weekend rotation of Drew Talatz, Rohan Leto, and Alex Bellardes, been very lights out so far. Talatz and Leto both have ERAs under 3. All at 16 inning pitches, all with Ks over 20 here. I mean, you look at this pitching staff on the graphic right here. Of course, I misclick it. And now I got to redo the whole thing. Great job, Andrew. Here we go. San Diego's pitching staff entering with a 5.4 ERA. St. Mary's, again, it feels like this week we're going to be talking about a lot of pitching. If the pitching goes right for a lot of these teams, it's going to be a very fun weekend of just dominating pitching. Leading away, John Damazonio for St. Mary's. We've talked about him before on the show. Cam Stanton as well. Those two guys I'm very, very high on. Jake Hilton's come in. He's gotten 2 starts. He's pitched to a 1.50 ERA, 14 Ks on the year. And I mean, this pitching staff for St. Mary's has been very, very good. And they've taken care of business late. I mean, against San Jose State, they go to 13 innings, and they've just taken care of business, just being able to put up key zeros, keep offenses off the board late on in these games. Offensively speaking, Tanner Griffith's hitting 515. Diego Castellanos, we've talked about, he's hitting 383 with 2 home runs. Jacob Johnson, though, holy buddy, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs to start off the year. Entering week 4, Jacob Johnson, the Cuesta JUCO transfer, coming in and making a big impact for the St. Mary's lineup. And I've mentioned it before. A lot of these teams, especially in the age of NIL, being able to use the JUCO portal and the transfer portal to bring in and just plug in talent right away. Jacob Johnson is one of those guys that's come in and just started mashing right away. Makio Sniffen with 4 home runs, 15 RBIs as well. San Diego State's offensive key lines, I've already mentioned them. Let's talk about St. Mary's. I already did talk about St. Mary's pitching. My prediction for this week, I think San Diego State is going to – this is really like – I think this is going to be Kevin Vance's like little coming out party. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm here for business. I'm going to be a like menace in the new Pac-12. But I think St. Mary's takes I think they take 2 out of 3 here. I don't see a lot of sweeps happening this week. With just a lot of things going certain ways. It's very hard to sweep in college baseball, especially on the road. I think St. Mary's is going to take 2 out of 3 here, just because I think their offensive bats are going to get hot, or not get hot, they're going to stay hot, keep them rolling. Last but not least is my personal series of the week, as we're going over to the Carolinas of just Carolinas. East Carolina and Coastal Carolina is probably the most hyped up mid-major series of the week, and I'm not going to say of the year, but these teams are having a little bit downers of the year. East Carolina's coming in 7-5-1 with that 1 tie to UNC, boo, and Coastal's coming in 7-5, coming off a coming off of a 1-3 this last week, dropping that midweek matchup to NC State, losing the Bruce Bowl College Classic, going 1-2, salvaging Sunday, upsetting Ole Miss. And you say, Andrew, they're like 14 still. How is that an upset? It's an upset because Ole Miss is heavily favored in that on the gambling odds. Ole Miss pitching struggled against Coastal's offense. But obviously, the big story here is that Coastal Carolina is still without Cam Flukie and a bunch of key pieces. And the key here is the offense. The offense hasn't gotten rolling as well. Dean Mijos. Oh my buddy's not gonna be happy about that. Dean Mijos leading the way, hitting 408. Hitting 408 for the Chanticleers. And it just feels like there's only 2 guys hitting above 300 on this Coastal team. And yes, they have seen some very good pitching to start the year, but you have returners like Blake Barthol struggling, hitting 229, Walker Mitchell hitting 237, Colby Thorndike hitting $179, Texas transfer and Cole Chamberlain hitting $167. The offense is just struggling out of the gate. Is this the second year in a row we're going to have a College World Series runner-up hangover? Why is the runner-up hungover? I mean, it's tough with the pitching staff, but even then, it's like, what's the difference if Cam Flukie is throwing or isn't throwing? Like, if Flukie's going out there, okay, I guess he's not giving up as many runs, and you're only needing 2 to 3 runs winning a game. The rotation this week will probably be Luke Jones, TBD, but I think it's going to be Luke Jones, Ross Norman, Luke Jones, Scott Doran, and Ross Norman in some way, shape, and form. I do want to see Case Bosch. Get a look here in the weekend rotation sooner or later. The freshman's got an ERA under 1. He's pitching to a 6.3 ERA. He was phenomenal again against NC State the other day. 14 and a third inning pitch in his 4 appearances so far, striking out 12. And if you look at a photo of this guy is an absolute demon. I'm a big fan of him already. I'm sold on him. Darren Horn out of the bullpen's been very good for Coastal Carolina. 14 innings, 16 Ks, and an ERA under 1 again. I think pitching's not the problem here for Coastal. This is a Coastal staff that's only used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pitchers, and that's without Cam Flukie. It's 12 with Flukie, 11 without Flukie, and they still haven't gotten Hayden Johnson back, and some key arms, and Ryan Lynch coming back sooner than later as well. This is a Coastal squad that I think they're going to be fine. But with having a very hungry ECU team coming in here, it's a little thing to watch out for. ECU, I think, is going to be the better offensive team this week. Let me see here. Sweep 22%. I think Pear's kind of over exaggerating this. Ethan Norby, the weekend rotation for ECU will probably go Ethan Norby, Gavin Van Kempen, Colby Weber. I think ECU is going to take 2 out of 3 here. Very hard to sweep a rival, but I think ECU's righting all the ships that everything's going in the right direction. If tomorrow goes Ethan Norby to Sean Jenkins, it's game over. Sean Jenkins has been lights out in his 18 innings already. He's leading ECU's pitching staff in innings. 18 and a third in 6 appearances, 24 strikeouts with a 9.8 ERA, 0.98 ERA, should I mention. Ethan Norby's one of the best arms in the country, and I think this outing tomorrow is just going to get him going in the right direction. It's ECU's offense is better than Coastal's at this given moment, but I think just having Ethan Norby is going to give them the upper hand tomorrow. Leading the way for ECU offensively is Braden Burris, Jack Herring, Austin Irby, Walker Barron, Grady Lenahan, a freshman catcher, leads the team in home runs. It seems like this ECU offense is in a much better position than it was last year, where it was struggling out of the gate. Then in the conference play, they were struggling. There are some key aspects struggling. Carlos Jacome, the USF transfer, struggling at the plate. Colby Wallace struggling at the plate. But I think ECU's got enough star power to go in there and take care of business, taking 2 out of 3 here. I think this is a true road series. Yep, this is a true road series as ECU is going to Conway for all 3 games. I mean, Coastal has a good student section, but it's not like basketball where you play, like, you've got to play the home team and the fans. Here it's like, okay, you're going into Conway, you're going into a good home field advantage. It's like you can go in there and quiet them up very quickly. If you get a run or two on the first 2-3 innings and you keep on putting up zeros on the mound, it's going to get really quiet really quickly. So I did promise that I would wrap up with Nichols, but someone name this segment for me. But the leading title of what I want to call this is Baseball is Funny. Baseball is funny. I'm going to tell you a story of me coaching. So I'm coaching a high school baseball team. I doubt they watch this. Let's go back to here. I doubt they watch this. Opening day, we play a school. We beat them 29-0. Next day, you want to know what happens? We get shut out and lose 2-0. Why am I saying baseball is funny? It's because baseball can go one of two ways. One day you can be the best team on earth. The next day you could just roll an egg. And that's what Southern Miss did this week. Southern Miss, obviously, they've been on a freaking heater this week. After losing their opening game, they go on a 11-game winning streak, taking 2 out of 3 from UC Santa Barbara, taking down Southeastern Louisiana, sweeping through Round Rock, including wins over Oregon State and Baylor, ruling Alabama, sweeping Louisiana Tech, going into Tuesday against Mississippi State, coming off of a loss to UCLA. They take them down 7-6 in a back-and-forth game. What does happen? The Colonels of Nichols come in to the Pete and shut down the offense, winning that game 3-2. Baseball is funny in that way. You can kind of say it for LSU too, where it feels like their offense can get going at times, but then they lose these just weird games. Baseball is a game of anything can happen at any given time. You see it with all these upsets. I mean, there's a reason that it takes all 33 guys on a roster now to get to Omaha. There's a reason why in some conference tournaments you need at least 8 to 10 pitchers to have a depth of eight pitchers to get you through a weekend. Having at least 12 bats ready at any given point, you're 9 plus 3 off the bench. Baseball is funny in that point. I got to give a shout out to Nichols. The Nichols Colonels, or Colonels, they had a rough go of it, but they sweep their midweeks. Tulane and Southern Miss, they beat Tulane at home 6-5 in a game that Tulane should have won. As I mentioned earlier, when a game is handed to you, you still have to take it. And then Southern Miss, they go into the Pete and just dominate them last night, and that is a quad 1 win for them. That is a quad 1 win for the Nichols Colonels. Heads up, at large, Southland, 2-bit Southland. But that is a new segment we'll call Baseball is Funny. Baseball is funny. The harsh reality of college baseball, not college baseball, but just baseball as a whole. Baseball as a whole, at any given point, you can be humbled, and at any given point, you can be the best team in the country. Do I think Southern Miss is the best team in the country? I think they're one of the best teams in the country, but you can be humbled at any given point, and that is my spiel. That is my spiel. That is my allotted 50 minutes. A little shorter of a show tonight, only because we have 4 series to preview. We talked about Nichols at the end. Great show, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. I promise I will be back. Monday live at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be back here. It will be dark out there. I promise you. I will have this light on. Hopefully, make sure to follow me at Riedell Andrew on Twitter. as I will be hopefully at UCF Saturday, and I'll be at Miami tomorrow. Hopefully I will be there to cover some really good baseball games, to cover the Cinderella Murray State team in Orlando. Will be a very fun series for that one as well. Obviously, a very, very fun weekend of college baseball is on hand. Make sure to follow College Baseball Central and to follow all of our reporters. We are everywhere. Everywhere. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Andrew Riedell. Have a good night. I love you all. Have a great night, and let's have a great weekend. Let's play some ball.